Also, you see that there's a little treasure chest over there? Don't worry, I see it. I will not be missing it. Just need to... Oh yeah, we have to go up higher with this one. Alright, now. At least we got a little bit of health recovery. Not very much, but enough to make me feel a little bit better. When they charge up, they're about to go for their little dash, so be careful. Also, if you looked up there, you could have seen that one of these little suckers was sitting in wait, just barely hidden behind this grass. You also might have noticed the path definitely comes back here for that treasure. And we're going to take advantage of it. Oh, gods. That could have been very nasty if I wasn't exactly as strong as I am. All that for 40 revolve. Hardly feels worth it, does it? And just very quickly taking a moment to pull a blanket up from my cat. Very sweet little cat. You really ought to all meet him someday. And a lot of cats look identical to him too. But back to the task at hand. We have a mountain to explore. The Elderm Mountains. We are very close to an exciting little event. In fact, we're here. So let's take a little bit of a save. And this will probably be where I cut the video. But who knows? We have a lovely, lovely little battle here that I think goes without saying. Not normal. I've been waiting for you. Good old Delarn. Gotta love Delarn. I never thought you'd return from that hell. What's more, you have communed with the spirit of Genos himself. I can no longer allow you to live. So, everything before has been to keep me alive? Ergo, you shall die in the embrace of the Furies. This is a little bit of a translation blip too on these guys. They're called Liggity, the three-winged Succubi. They should be the three-winged Harpies. Succubi have bat wings. Harpies don't have legs, have, bird claws. And, yeah, they are topless, but they're not really designed to be fun to look at, so don't be a pervert. The trick with these guys is they share a life bar. And if any of them dies, the rest of them get souped up. So the trick is to try and take them all down within moments of each other. So take advantage of this by just watching their health bars, trying to lower their health down carefully, and they're all color-coded to their weakness. At least 2 of them are. Bluey isn't color-coded, but that's fine. Greenie is very obviously, as is the red. They don't have individual names, they're just all parts of Liggity. The double jump is extraordinarily helpful here. As you can see, there's a variety of different attacks coming from all angles, and you really do not want to rush this boss by trying to take one of them out quicker. Trust me on that, they get really nasty. They pretty much keep all the same attacks, but they're all much more ferocious. As you can see, the wind does barely any damage in Ultimate Fire, or just tanks off. I'm not watching close enough at the moment. But they're all down to low health. This is, I find, the best moment to kill one of them. It's usually best to try and kill the fire one first, so I don't know what I was doing there. And I think I let them have a little bit more health than I like to let them have at this point. But that's fine. I think I should still be able to do this easy. As long as Bluey doesn't have too much health. Yeah, I wasn't doing the math very well. Because they all do have equal health. But it's not, if it was 3,000, that would be very easy. You just do about 900 damage. Keep track of that, move on to the next one. But as you can see, Ow. Bluey's the only one left. That was close. Extraordinarily close. But I pulled through. First try. Impossible. How could you have mastered so much power? Perhaps you could even... Could even what? Open up a bakery? I appreciate your faith in my abilities, but I don't want to open up a bakery, lady. These three Harpy sisters were summoned by an evil halfway up the mountain. Their forms are an odd blend of bird and a beautiful woman, and they attack Adel with an incredible synchronicity. If one cannot figure out their respective weaknesses, it will make the fight most difficult indeed. Okay, that was entirely too random. I apologize. Okay, not that much, but a little bit. Apology, maybe. Sorta, kinda. There is still one other place that I want to get all the berm leaves before we head back to town, because that serves as a good point to get back there. So, and there is one other point before what I consider the deepest part of this dungeon. It's sort of the Elderm Mountains, much like Tigray, is two different dungeons, separated very slightly. It's a big enough separation that I think most people will probably agree with me. And since you have the Wing Talisman now, great distances aren't really what they used to be. And here is a nice little shack. Who might live here? Take a guess. It's a strong-looking man. That red hair, and those dark eyes. I see. You must be Adel. My name is Berhard. As you can see, I'm something of a hermit. Dogi's told me quite a lot about you. Are you looking for him? Adel explained what had happened so far, and said he had come to ask about the legend of Genos. Indeed. Dogi's mentioned something of this, but it sounds like things are more urgent than I thought. Very well, I'll tell you everything I've learned about it. You've heard part of the story from Mayor Edgar. I've managed to learn the whole thing, and I'm sure of my facts. Ages ago, a demonic creature called Galbalon drifted ashore in Felghana and took control of the entire land. And yes, eventually a warrior named Genos did defeat the creature. However, there's more to it than that. After he defeated Galbalon, Genos used the power of 4 statues, which were called the Holy Artifacts, to seal him away. In essence, Galbalon was imprisoned since he couldn't be completely destroyed. Genos later hid the statues in various places throughout Felghana. In order to make sure that their power could not be abused, Genos called upon his own descendants to keep watch over them. It would seem that the statues you've found are indeed those holy artifacts used to imprison the demon, and for some reason the power that they're supposed to be containing is leaking out into the surrounding countryside. That has to be the reason for the monster attacks over the last year. Perhaps that's all tied to what Count McGuire is after. He's probably managed to delude himself into thinking he can use the statue's power to force the monsters to do his bidding. It stands to reason that one of the statues rests here in Elderm Mountains. Dogi went deeper into the mountains to find it before McGuire gets his hands on it. If you're thinking of going after him, you might want to do it soon. And he just says the same thing again, but ask about Genos. The voice you heard down in the abandoned mine might be a remnant of Genos' spirit. Plus, Genos himself might have used those bracelets you're wearing. According to legend, he used the power of some bracelets along with his sword to eliminate the demon. If you can truly master their power. The legend says that there were some holy artifacts that channeled the power of the gods to invoke a powerful sealing magic. It seems the seal is breaking down and Galbalon's power is leaking out into the countryside. The question is, what exactly is causing it? Ask about Chester. Sorry, but I don't want to talk about him right now. Not to you, or to Dogi. It's just that I never should have let him leave like that in the first place. This has to end. By my hand, if need be. What an impressive little bit of plottity-plot-plot-plot. Does that have to say so? So, we've met Master Berhard. He's the one who trained both Chester and Dogi, but Elena never got to meet him. And I think we'll explore a little bit more of this after a little bit of a refreshing pause. And we return to take on the true depths of the Elderm Mountains. And we already have a new enemy, an upgraded version of our earlier little friend, these little bastards are even more powerful and dangerous. As you can see, they take quite a bit more damage, and they don't seem to like getting stunned as much. But they managed to give me a little bit of a present in the terms of that level up. There's another lovely little friend of ours, a little pinwheel. After that guy's dealt with, we'll have a little bit of information about both of them. You have to do a downward strike or wait for them to stop spinning. Remind you of anything from Legend of Zelda? It should. Salada, a type of mineral creature closely related to the Ilba. Frontal attacks have no effect, but they are vulnerable to the diving stab. Their innards frequently contain gravel ore, which means they drop it, which is nice. Jiggle, or Jigel. The warrior class of Jigel, they can make difficult opponents, since they fire stingers with exceptional accuracy from out of reach. They are not very intelligent, however, so they aren't as dangerous as they could be. And now that we're back, yeah, they really ought to remind you about The Legend of Zelda, if you've played the thing. If you haven't, what the heck are you doing? Play Legend of Zelda. I know it's an old game, but come on. The Dongos dislike smoke already. Can't you wait to bomb them? Or can't you not wait to bomb? Eh, whatever. So as you can see, already we haven't upgraded the enemies. This section is definitely even more dangerous than the previous, but at least you do have a chance to go back to town if you want to. There's a save point, so you don't lose progress anymore, which is a good thing. Forward motion. You still want to be careful though, because these enemies can definitely show you that you're not in Tigray Quarry anymore. This little guy is unfortunately very poorly placed. You lure him down there and you can go wherever you want without him posing any kind of a threat. Good for you, not so good for him. But I think that's fairly obvious. Lots of good sweet gold. We'll just take this little bit of a jump. That's really there to make it just more difficult to go back if you want to, and to make it a little bit more interesting, as you have to go back and around this way to get up here, and it provides the added benefit of backtracking, if you don't want to use your teleport power. But there's nothing else to get in that direction, so if you aren't opposed to using teleport whenever you feel like it, it's not really going to be all that much of a setback. And I'll be honest, I really don't see it as a bad thing to use, as it makes the game more accessible, along with the areas. So that's a pretty bad little pun there. I'm not trying. They just kind of slip out. Nothing over here, or is there? Firm leaf was obtained. Awesome. So after we have one other little thing we want to get, maybe two, depending, we'll do a little bit of backtracking before we go on further. I know usually I do the let's go back and recover all these things after I'm done with a section, but some things are just too good to wait for, too useful right when you get them, and you don't want to pass them up. Up to now, we haven't really gotten anything like that before. There's no point in leaving the abandoned mine to rush off and get a bottle of elixir, for example. Just kind of silly. Once again, we have those little guys wanting to shoot things at us, make the floor nice and icy. I recommend continuing just to avoid them though, as you're really not meant to be able to do very much damage against them, but they have no such weakness against you. Oh, and there we go. Those guys are essentially the queen bees for the other enemies. They are very nasty, as you can see. Those little flowers, they actually hatch, and they're no fun at all. Let's get a little bit of a bio on them.
Mon Jigel, a mature Queen Jigel. In the difficult struggle to survive, they produce eggs almost constantly. Their only drive is to reproduce and spread. Because of the potential problem this poses, it is best to eliminate them quickly.
Yeah, whenever they're in a room, those should be your first target, no question. And you can ignore them if you want to, but I don't see why you'd want to. Generally not very conductive to your health. And they're not very dangerous if you kill them off very quickly either. so rushing after them does not pose a threat. It's more keeping them alive that does that. And quite nicely, too. And who do we have over here? But Dogi. Oddle?